cat here, Vegas Fruity. So I woke up this morning to the smell of this really pungent onion powder in the air, and the pot of beans that I put on last night, I soaked them all day yesterday, and then I cooked them on simmer all night. They actually taste pretty good, but it came with a seasoning mix, the bag of beans, and I put it in there, and it's just like super onion type smell, and I didn't really care for that. It kind of woke me up early, and I could smell it all the way, you know, in my room upstairs, and so I have to air out the house now because it's got kind of like a icky, oniony smell. But anyway, yeah, so there's that. Looks like I'm having this for breakfast. So every time, not every time, but I go out to the garage sometimes to get stuff. And there's a dartboard out here. There's a refrigerator out here. Sometimes I gotta come out here and grab like extra produce or something and take it inside. And so I just can't help myself from trying to throw a few darts. And that one's horrible. I actually do pretty good sometimes, but I really can't do that. That's pretty good when I'm holding this camera here. That's not bad, actually. And, I just can't seem to get on in the middle. Oh, that was way off. So anyway, I got pretty close to go out for a little bit, and I am going to want something savory, I think, for a snack. I know I will. I always do after I eat watermelon. And so I've got some of those hot pintos in here for a snack in this artichoke heart jar. I'm just reusing it. And that's going to do the job for me. I'm thinking of having a salad, and I think maybe I'll do that for dinner. And I've got a lot of veggies still from yesterday I've got to eat. So instead of doing a raw lunch, I decided to have more beans and some veggies. And we've been out all morning, me and the kids, and we've been, we had a real fun morning. But we've been trying to get all of Isaiah's things together that he needs for school next week. And we stopped off at he wanted to look and see if they had any interesting toys. And I said, okay, maybe one. We stopped off at my favorite thrift store, and then I ended up finding a DVD. This is the Beachbody series. I guess what's her name? Debbie something or other. Anyway, I gotta put my glasses on, I can't read it. Her name, Debbie Siebers. Yeah, so I don't know if you know her or not, but it has like, it's like, I'll put this up here, that like it has like an all-encompassing workout, and I think it's like 63 minutes in all, but you don't have to do the whole thing because she just works specific parts of your body, or you can just, like she said, work the upper and then the lower part, you know, to get a really good, so you don't have to do the whole 63 minutes unless you're like, I don't know, you know, just like real freaky about wanting to get your exercise groove on, then go for it, you know. But I don't know. I may be doing insanity with my husband later, but maybe not, because he called me and he told me that he forgot to take food with him this morning. So he didn't take any breakfast and he didn't take any lunch, and it's like almost 3 o'clock. So he's going to need to eat, and then he won't be able to digest in time. So it's kind of funny, but when you have when you do something like this, especially when you're like trying to get on board with somebody else, you know, you have to time your food, when you're going to have it, what you're going to eat, and then how long it needs to digest before you do, you know, it's like you really have to find a window where you can work it in there. And to have two people with a busy life having to work their windows around each other, sometimes it is a little difficult, you know. So anyway, you know, I was going to tell you about the beans that I had. I'm just taking a load off right now because I'm so tired. The kids are down napping for a few minutes, and so I'm just, you know, relaxing. But I love beans. In case you haven't noticed, I love almost every kind of bean. Butter beans are probably one of my favorite. And then pintos, I think, are probably my first favorite. And I'll tell you the reason why. I think because I went through years where the beans were really all we had. And, you know, I grew up and we had a lot. I mean, my parents did pretty well. And then you know, they bought a place out in the middle of nowhere. I may have mentioned this before. Made some bad business decisions. We actually had a restaurant at the time, and we had a home. Thank goodness we never lost our home, but we lost everything. I mean, they lost everything, and we had to start all over again. Thank goodness we had some land. We had a place to live, you know, and we had some land. We had about, oh gosh, we had some acreage. But, and my dad was very smart to plant a massive garden at the time, because we also had a lot to eat, because we had vegetables. We had vegetables, and we had, my mom would go shopping once a month for the whole month. And she would get huge bags of beans, rice, potatoes, you know, anything that she could really stretch, tomato sauce, canned veggies. She'd get some frozen, but mostly it was canned, because we had to, I mean, you have to last the whole month, you know what I mean? And we needed, I don't know, the canned ones, you could always pretty much get a sale on those. But we had tons of beans, you know, so as you can imagine now, I mean, back then I thought we were really poor, and we were, but we had a healthy diet, you know, and except for every now and then we'd have like, you know, we'd have meat like maybe, I don't know, twice a month, you know, and we were considered, you know, we weren't like trying to go vegetarian or vegan or anything, we just couldn't afford it. And so beans were like pretty much the staple. Oh, and we had pasta, which we would stretch with tomato sauce, and you know. Then one of the worst things happened, and that was during I think this was the 80s, and that was during a time where the government decided to give everyone free cheese, because they were subsidizing the farmers to overproduce in America at the time, and they needed to, you know, they were basically paying the farmers to produce this, but nobody was, I mean, they were overproducing. So then they had to do something with all this cheese and butter, you know, and some things that were being produced. So they ended up giving them to people who were going through hardships, low income, whatever. And at that time, we had just lost our, you know, business and everything. So yeah, we were in a rough place, and we definitely qualified. And so we ended up having like, I mean, they were like these, I want to say they were like 3 pound, no, not 3, they were like 5 pound blocks of cheese. And it wasn't like cheddar cheese, it was like American cheese, processed product cheese. And so I remember coming home from school one day, and I saw there were like, I want to say there were like 8 to 10 of those blocks, like some in the freezer and the fridge, and there was butter, you know, and I think at some point they also gave out cornmeal and honey, and what else? I don't even remember. I just remember way more cheese than I've ever seen in my life. And all of a sudden we were putting cheese on everything. I mean, I had cheese dreams, you know. There was just like cheese. We'd have beans on our cheese, you know, and we had so much cheese. And you know, I think about that, and it's like, you know, thanks government, you know, for, I mean, I don't know, it was a fallacy as to why they were making them overproduce the cheese in the first place. First of all, that's a whole different subject. They shouldn't have been in that business. But then, you know, to dump it on the American public like this, and I don't know, I think it just didn't. I wonder how many people actually exacerbated medical conditions due to the increase of government cheese, you know, and butter during those years. So I don't know, I'm just looking back at that, you know, and I'm just glad we don't have cheese anymore. But I love beans. I still love beans, and those are much better for you without all that goopy cheese on it, without the goopy cheese product. Piece of watermelon after a workout, and then now I'm having just some plain fava beans, lightly salted. You know, I love these fava beans, and you know I love beans.